All right, if you're a lecturer, you know the deal. The pressure to create digital course content that actually grabs students' attention is immense. But let's be honest, who has the time to become a pro coder on top of, everything else? But what if you could just talk your ideas into existence? I mean, what if you could build a complex simulation or a gamified quiz just by describing what you want?
Well, you can, and there's a name for it, vibe coding. And no, it's not some far-off future tech. It's here, right now, ready for you to use.
So what exactly is it? Well, Collins Dictionary defines it as using AI prompted by plain English to help write code. But the short version is way better. It's coding by conversation. That's the magic right there. You talk, it codes. This whole idea really took off thanks to Andrej Karpathy, one of the founding members of OpenAI. He talks about getting into the vibe of a project, where he barely even touches the keyboard. He gets an error message, he just copies it, pastes it back to the AI, and boom, it's usually fixed. You get to focus on the big picture, and the AI gets bogged down in the syntax.
That all sounds amazing in theory, right? But what does this actually look like in a university setting? Let's check out how lecturers are already putting this into practice to build some really cool teaching tools.
Okay, check this out. A physical therapy lecturer wanted to create a patient simulation. So she just fed the AI a Word document with everything. The patient scenarios, the choices students could make, the feedback for each choice, and the AI built a whole interactive lesson from that. And this is where it gets really powerful from a teaching perspective. Students aren't just passively reading a case study, they are in it. They're put in the driver's seat, forced to practice their clinical reasoning, and they get instant feedback. It's a perfect way to bridge that gap between theory and practice in a totally safe environment. All right, here's another great one, this time from a European Studies course. The challenge? Teaching students how to spot misinformation in our crazy, complex political landscape. Instead of a dry lecture, they gamified the whole thing using vibe coding. So get this. Students are cast as aides to a European policymaker during a major political crisis. They have to analyze things like video metadata to see if it's authentic, spot deepfakes in political ads, and identify those manipulative headlines we all see online. And every single choice they make triggers narrative feedback that affects their simulated career. It's an incredibly deep, engaging experience that honestly would have taken a whole team months to build the old-fashioned way.
Now, it is really easy to get swept up in the excitement, but we need to be realistic. Like any powerful new tool, vibe coding has amazing potential, but it also has some pitfalls we absolutely need to be aware of.
Let's start with the promise, because this number is just wild. Research shows that professional developers, actual coders, complete their tasks 55% faster using these AI tools. 55%. For educators, that kind of efficiency is an absolute game changer. So you've got this incredible speed and a much lower learning curve on one side. But on the other side, accessibility errors are pretty common. The AI can also just change things unexpectedly, and it can forget what you told it to do earlier. That's because of something called a context window, which is basically its short-term memory. And this is the big one. Everything it makes absolutely requires a human to verify it. And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the single most important takeaway here. Your role isn't going away. It's just changing. You are the essential human in the loop. Let's be really clear about this. Your expertise is actually more critical than ever. The AI is an incredible tool for sure, but it doesn't understand pedagogy. It doesn't know your students. You are still the instructional designer. You're the content expert. The AI works for you, not the other way around. So how do you do that well? Here's a simple 4-step verification process. 1. Always prompt for accessibility. Literally tell the AI to follow the web accessibility guidelines. 2. Check things manually, especially stuff AI is bad at, like color contrast. 3. Save your versions. Seriously, always keep a working copy so you can go back if the AI messes something up. And 4. Manage the context window. If the AI starts acting confused, it's probably hit its memory limit. Just start a new chat with your last working code. It's like giving it a fresh start. Okay, feeling inspired? Maybe a little overwhelmed? That's totally normal. The best way to learn any of this is just by doing. So let's talk about a safe, simple first experiment you can try, like today. Please don't try to build a massive simulation on day one. Start small, something low stakes, like a course announcement. You can just describe the tone you want, the content, maybe a theme, and just see what happens. It's a really fun, zero-risk way to get your feet wet. And that really brings us to the final thought here.
This technology fundamentally changes what's possible for course creators. So the question isn't, can I build it anymore? The question now is, what should I build? When creating a lesson becomes as easy as describing one, what will you build?